the live stream as well. Hello and welcome to the Thursday version of Happy Hands and Heart. The Thursday version of the Happy Hands and Heart class is slower paced than the Thursday class, but we are going to be doing some of the same movements to help support easing tension out of the upper body. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome. We're going to start in easy seat. So whatever that means for you, whether that's crisscross applesauce, maybe sitting on a rolled up towel or blanket, take your choice here. And then what we're going to do is a series of 2 breath techniques. And the first breath technique is a Kapalabhati breathing, where we really focus on a sharp exhale out of the belly and then allowing a natural inhale. Okay, give me just a moment to have a little sip of caffeine. Full disclosure, I completely overslept this morning, so I'm slightly rough around the edges, and I slept in my makeup, so I am definitely slightly rough around the edges, but I am here for you, and you are here for yourself and each other. I'm so glad that you have decided to join. Okay, so we're gonna sharply exhale using the belly muscles, and then just allow a natural inhale. Breathing out through the nostrils is recommended, but you can also breathing out through the nostrils recommended, always breathing in through the nostrils. If you want to breathe out through the mouth, make a little ha sound. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this for 60 seconds. Here we go. Huge breath in. Let it go. Take a moment to notice how you feel. This particular breath technique I'm a fan of for a few different reasons. One of them being that because we're using this really sharp exhale on the belly muscles, it really brings attention to the fact that our exhale is always using the core. Always, always, always. Okay, so the next breath technique that we're going to do is sun breath. So we join the movement of the arms with our inhale and our exhale. Now, a typical sun breath is inhaling out and up and then bringing the palms down and pausing and starting over again. We're going to add to that by, when we bring the hands down, we're going to do a couple little motions, adding an additional breath in while we are stretching out the hands and the fingers. All right, let's begin. Reach the arms out, breathe in, reach all the way up, bring your palms together. And on your exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, palms together, and then create a 90-degree-ish angle with your fingers. And then pause here. And then turn your fingers out, interlace the fingers, press the palms away from you. Unlace the fingers, reach out, reach up, breathe in. Exhale, palms through heart center. We're going to pause here. And this time we're going to turn the fingertips down, keep the wrists pulled together and lift them up. See if you can wiggle the fingers around. It's okay if there's not much movement. Turn the fingers back up and release those fingers, press out again. And this time around the spine, curl in a little bit, tuck the chin, pull the shoulder blades apart from each other. And let's do another one. Bring the arms out, inhale up. And exhale the palms down through heart center. A little bit different this time. We're going to do eagle arms. So wrapping one elbow under the other, wrapping the palms together, and then curl in again. Pull the elbows in towards the belly, tuck the chin, round the spine. Remember which way your arms are folded here. We're going to switch it up on the next one. Unwind, reach the arms out and up. And as you bring your arms back through heart center, wind the other way, eagle arms, curl in. And then unwind, sweep the arms out. Let's do one more. Inhale all the way up, reach all the way up, reach, reach, reach. Reach up and back, so a slight back bend. And then exhale, bring palms through heart center again. And this time, while the fingertips are pointing upwards, press the fingertips back and forth. Shake it loose. Let's move into child's pose and choose any variation of child's pose that you like. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of variations this morning for folks on the live stream. Head into whatever your favorite is. For the recording, I'm going to start by demonstrating infant pose. This one is really great if you need to really deeply relax the shoulders and round the spine. Tucking the knees under the belly and then bringing the hands around to the feet. And then allow your forehead and the crown of the head to rest on the earth. So we're really rounding the shoulders and letting the shoulder blades slide apart and the shoulders slope towards the earth. Extended child's pose, same thing, except this time we're going to reach the arms out overhead and place the palms on the earth and the forehead between the elbows. And this changes up the stretch. Feel free to switch between the two. Get what you need here for another 30, 60 seconds. Luxuriate here. Deep breaths, really full inhales. Empty out on your exhale. Walk your hands to one side, stretching through the side body for a few breaths. Walk your hands back through center. Take a few breaths on the other side. Walk the hands back through center. Next up, we're going to move into puppy pose. So if you're in the infant variation of child's pose, create the extended child's pose variation and then lift your hips and bring your forehead down between your elbows again. Deeply stretching out the rib cage and the upper body. And then from here, we're gonna rise to downward facing dog. This is the tallest shape that we make in the Thursday version of this section. So we're gonna tuck the toes, lift the hips, and we'll be here for about 30 seconds-ish. So take some time to sway side to side, maybe pedal the feet out, pressing your rib cage closer to your thighs. Then let your knees come down to the earth. We're gonna come down into our belly-based back bends from here. So we're gonna start with Sphinx pose. Allow your hips and legs to come to the earth. And then bring your elbows close to the body, creating a 90-ish degree angle. Yep. Spread the fingers really wide here. Now already, just as soon as we get here, we've already created this really deep back bend. So we don't have to do anything else, but if you're wanting a little bit more intensity from this stretch, you can turn and look over one shoulder and then the other. You can add on a little bit more by lifting a heel and pulling the heel towards the back of the head while looking straight ahead or turning the head. Lots of options here. And you can also, if you want a whole lot more from this, bring the heels up towards the back of the head and maybe press into the hands, lifting the front of the body a little bit farther off the earth. So dial this where you want it. Calibrate this to your exact need in this moment. Ten more seconds. And now let's slide down into crocodile. So lower your torso, stack your hands on top of each other, and tuck your chin. Rest your forehead on your hands for a few breaths. Really notice how on your inhale, your belly spreads across the earth. Rib cage spreads across the earth. Take a little bit more time on your exhale. Next up, we're going to move into seal pose. So you're going to reach your arms out to a really wide V shape and then pull the elbows back in so you get a little bit of torque, and then press into your hands to lift the front of the body off the earth. You might want to try engaging the glutes here to press the hip bones and the pubic bone down into your mat. If you want more from this, pull your teeth together and lift your chin a little farther. Oh, good stuff. All right, let's start taking care of the side of the body. We're gonna move into side lying Buddha. So I'm gonna shift shape here. And we're gonna come onto one hip. It doesn't matter which side you start on, we're gonna do both. I'm gonna demonstrate all the different variations. So for the live stream, I'll take whichever variation and height that you like. I'm gonna demonstrate all the way from the highest variation. Here I am, palm on the earth, resting arm is mostly straight, and I'm resting on my hip. Now the intention here is to really lengthen through the side of the rib cage. So here's one variation height. You can also rest on the forearm. It's coming down a little bit lower. And then notice if you can relax the shoulder so that you really let gravity pull the rib cage towards the earth. And then another variation, slide the upper arm out, rest the head in the palm of the hand. And then another variation, the lowest yet, resting the head on the upper arm. And now that we're here, enjoy side lying Buddha. And you can stay in one shape or you can change it up. And pay attention to your breath. Give your inhale your full focus. Give your exhale lots of attention. Next up, we're going to move into cat pulling its tail. So I don't have to make a whole lot of changes here. We're going to let the top knee come down. So that we're creating a slight twisting action for the spine. So your top knee comes down to the mat, and then you're going to take your top hand, bend your bottom knee, and take a hold of the toes of your bottom foot. It's very similar to side lying Buddha, but we get a little bit of extra twisting action here. And so we're going to switch now from cat pulling its tail to sleeping deer pose. So you're going to restack the knees. And this time you're going to bring the bottom knee up a little closer to the torso, and we're going to straighten the top leg out, and then we're going to turn the whole torso. So turn your shoulders and rib cage to the mat, and then allow yourself to rest the head either on your stacked hands or down on the mat underneath your hands. One more breath. Big inhale. Sigh it away. And then very gently press yourself up and let's change sides. Side lying Buddha for the other side. And then whichever variation, height variation, feel free to try them all out or just do one. In the Thursday variation on this class, I really like to focus on lengthening out the sides of the body. It's something that we very often in yoga classes don't pay a lot of attention to. We very often pay attention to the front of the body and maybe the back of the body. Here we're giving a little additional attention to the sides of the body. And part of the reason for that is that a lot of the musculature and the connective tissue that runs up through the side of the body is also connected to all of the tissues on the inside of the armpit and therefore down the sides of the arms, the inner arms, as well as slightly to the back of the rib cage. And giving that part of the body a little extra attention that it deserves. and then cat pulling its tail for this side. So let the top knee come down to the earth, and then take your top hand and pull your bottom foot in, take a hold, cat pulling its tail. A couple of deep breaths here. And now, sleeping deer pose. So restack the knees, bring your bottom knee up and in towards the belly, lengthen the top leg out, and then turn your torso towards the mat and lay down. Breathe and rest. Rest and breathe. Next up, we're going to move into fish pose. I'm going to shift again to a different angle. For fish pose, we're going to rest the elbows on the earth with the palms flat underneath the hip bones. Stretch your legs out, pull the shoulder blades together, and ever so slowly and gently let your head drop back. If you want deeper stretch for the front of the throat, pull your teeth together. Give yourself a yawn here to open the jaw, move the jaw around. And let's release. Tuck your chin, bring yourself up and around. We're going to do, I hope this is one of your favorites too, lion's breath, Simhasana. Bring the toes together, knees apart. And then we're going to spread the fingers wide and turn them in towards the body. If you want some additional extra stretching action, pull the hands a little farther away from the body. That's going to give you a deeper stretch for the inner wrists and the palms. Awesome sauce. Okay, so sometimes when we're here, we do a certain number of rounds of lion's breath. Today, we're just going to do 60 seconds of lion's breath. So you go at your own pace, starting now. I see that. Nicely done. Keep going a little bit more. Open that jaw. Nicely done, lions. Let it go. Shake the hands out. Next up, we're going to come around to an easy seat, and we're going to start fine-tuning the action for the neck and the shoulders. All right, so our next technique is specifically to loosen up tension in the neck and the upper shoulders. And this is a head roll. Before we get started on this head roll, I want to say it's a continuous motion, and it's a very slow motion. So here's what it looks like. We're going to drop one ear to the shoulder, chin to chest, ear to other shoulder, head goes back. And we're going to keep the motion going, but we're going to go really slow and continuously roll the head. Around the neck and shoulders. And I invite you to go really slowly here because the motion is continuous. We don't really want to promote dizziness here. So really take your time letting the head loll around the shoulders. Some folks find it better to keep the eyes open and gazing at particular things, and others like to close the eyes. So feel free to experiment here with what feels best for you. We're going to be rolling on this side for another 30 seconds or so. Remember, deep inhales, luxurious exhales. A few more rounds headed in this direction, pun intended. So good. The next time your chin comes around to the chest, pause here. And then turn in the other direction. And keep that motion nice and slow and continuous. And keep going, another 30, 40 seconds. And the next time that your chin comes around to the chest, pause there. And now we're going to add on to this. So we're going to press the rib cage up towards the chin as much as we're pressing the chin towards the chest, really lengthening out the back of the neck. An option here, if you want to add to this, is to interlace the fingers along the back of the head and then just allow the elbows to fall gently inwards. We're not pulling the head down. We're just allowing the arms to add some weight so that gravity gets more action here to stretch the back of the neck out. And we're going to pause, rest here and breathe. Easy does it. If you're using your fingers and your hands, release that, bring the head back up to neutral. Let's head in the other direction. We're going to bring the hands back behind us to rest on the earth. Palms are flat. And then lift your chin, let your head drop back. If you want more for the throat, pull the teeth together. Also an option to yawn here and open the jaw. And other options as the head is back is to tilt the head from one side to the other, slow and gentle. If you're tilting the head, come back to center, pull the chin back up, bring your head to neutral, and then sit back up. high. All right, we're gonna start really focusing on the shoulders this time. So we're going to lift one shoulder, breathe in, and then let the exhale use it to drop. We're gonna do 3 rounds for one shoulder, 3 rounds for the other. All right, inhale, lift the shoulder. Use the exhale to let it drop. Second. And third. All right, let's do the other shoulder. Last one. Okay, this time we're gonna inhale and lift both shoulders up and let them both drop. 3 rounds. Last one. So good. Okay, we're now going to, this is maximum effort. We're gonna lift the shoulders up on the inhale, and then we're gonna use the exhale to pull the shoulder blades all the way back. And still using the exhale, we're gonna pull them all the way down. And when we're at the end of the exhale, then we'll release. All right, so maximum effort, maximum control, maximum rotation of the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll back. When they're all the way back, pull them all the way down. Keep exhaling, empty out, press down. Release. Here we go. Roll them up. Roll them back. Roll them down. All the way down. Get your shoulders as far away from your jaw as possible. Last one. Up, back, down. Release. And other direction, we're going to inhale up and then roll forward and down. Pull the shoulder blades as far apart as possible, clavicles as close to each other as possible, press down. Yes, my fellow earthlings, twice more. One more. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do about 30 seconds of freestyle. So whatever you need here, if you need some more for the neck or the shoulders or shaking the hands out, get what you need. 30 seconds, freestyle. And then we're gonna do some precision work for the hands. All right, we're gonna start by taking care of this web in the hand that works so hard for us, our opposable thumb muscle. We're gonna start by bringing arms akimbo and then stop here. You might spread the fingers out a little bit. And aside from that, we're not going to do anything at all for the next 30 seconds. Maybe notice if your shoulders want to creep up. See if you can let them soften. Our main intention here is to stretch the opposable thumb muscles. But you might notice sensation arising in other places, and that is all good. Keep breathing. If you have the urge to yawn, it's working. Release that. Shake the hands loose. Next up, we're going to do some specific mudras. Abhaya mudra, fearless mudra. Stretch those fingers really wide. And then normally we hold mudras in stillness. For today's purposes, we're going to roll the mudra around the wrists. Snap, crackle, pop. Change directions. And then lotus bud mudra. Pull all of the fingers and the thumbs together and then roll around the wrist again. And then last up is Adi mudra. Fold the thumb in, wrap the fingertips around it, and roll. Maybe a little back and forth. All right, now we're going to take care of the individual fingers. Let me scoot a little bit closer here. So we're going to take the left hand to start with, palm is up, and then we're going to take the ring finger of the right hand and pull the pinky back. Now, one thing that we can do, you don't have to, if you're getting plenty stretch action here, you can just use the pinky. If you want a little bit more, wrap the thumb around the inside of the wrist and then pull the fingers together so that you're getting a huge stretch for the pinky. Take a breath, let it go. And then use your ring finger to pull the ring finger back. Maybe you keep the thumb action going by pulling the fingers together. If that's more than you need, don't do it. Take a breath for each finger, moving to the middle finger. And then the index finger. Shake it loose. And then switch hands. Bring your right palm in front of you. Use the ring finger of the left hand to pull the pinky down towards the back of the wrist. If you want more from this, use your thumb on the inside of your wrist. Breathe. Send your digits some love and affection, along with all the attention that you're paying. Switch fingers. Switch fingers. And index finger. Let loose. Last up is Yoni Mudra. And we're gonna fold 3 fingers in. We're gonna join the index fingers and the thumbs and then press that all open. So we get one more stretch for the inside of the web. And energetically, we can place Yoni Mudra anywhere along the front of the body that needs that deep feminine creative energy. Physiologically, if you want to get the deepest stretch, is just to lower it all the way down in front of your sacral chakra. Stay here as long as you like. When you are ready, I invite you to move into supported fish pose. For my live stream yogis, you'll know setting up your supported fish pose. For our video, I'm going to demonstrate using a blanket to support the upper body. So I'm going to fold the blanket up into a fairly large roll, a long roll rather. And I'm going to use this to support my whole spine today, including the back of my head. So the end of the roll here is going to go to the base of my spine so that the top part of the roll supports the back of my head. And this creates a slightly gentler version of supported fish pose. So I'm going to tuck the blanket rolled up right at the base of the spine, and then ever so gently roll back and adjust so that part of the blanket is on the head, is resting the head. And then if you want a little bit more to stretch the front of the body out, bringing the arms out to a T shape. And once you have achieved your supported fish pose, there is no more work. Rest here. We're going to be here for about 3 minutes. And if you want to stay here for longer, stay here for longer. I'll let you know when we get to the 3-minute mark. Let your whole body settle here. Soften your forehead muscles. Relax the cheeks and the jaw. Let your shoulders be heavy. Let your entire upper body sink a little bit closer to the earth. Rest here. If you would like to continue luxuriating in supported fish, please do so. If you need to move on with your day, I invite you to curl to one side, bring yourself up to a seat, and let's close with this brief meditation. Safe, healthy, happy, and free. You, me, everyone, all beings, everywhere, always. Let's go be a mighty kindness. Peace. Live long and prosper. This session helps to get you there. I'm so glad that you were here on the live stream today and for the recording. Be well, my friends.